Look what happened. Is this crazy? Fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day I will be fighting for you. And I believe the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country and maybe beyond.
Donald Trump is back as the President of the United States of America and is said to have a huge economic impact, not just for the US, but for the world and particularly India. Let's understand that better. Donald Trump has been elected the 47th President of the United States of America. It's an extraordinary comeback for a former president who refused to accept defeat 4 years ago, sparked a violent insurrection at the US Capitol, was convicted of felony charges and survived 2 assassination attempts as well. As far as the electoral vote count goes, Trump's win in Wisconsin put him over the 270 threshold needed to clinch the presidency. And as the electoral battle comes to a close, it's now time to look at how the change of presidency will impact India-US relations. Will the road ahead be smooth or tougher for India? To understand that, joining us on the show, we have a couple of very special guests. We have Mr. Srinath, Sridharan, policy researcher and corporate advisor joining us. Srinath, will just come to you. Let's first listen in to that victory speech of Donald Trump. Let's get you that excerpt.
Thank you very much. Wow. Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends in this incredible movement. This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country and maybe beyond. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy? But it's a political victory that our country has never seen before, nothing like this. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 40th president and your and every citizen. I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have. For the American of North Carolina, I love these places. Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. We are now winning in Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, and Alaska, which would result in us carrying at least 315 electoral votes, but it's much easier doing what the networks did or whoever called it, because there was no other path. There was no other path to victory. We also have won the popular vote. That was great. Very proud of that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And, winning the popular vote was very nice, I will tell you. It's a great feeling of love. We have a great feeling of love in this very large room with unbelievable people standing by my side. These people have been incredible. They've made the journey with me, and we're going to make you very happy. We're going to make you very proud of your vote. I hope that you're going to be looking back someday and say that was one of the truly important moments of my life when I voted for this group of people beyond the president, this group of great people.
That was Trump's victory speech. We have Srinath, Sridharan, policy researcher and corporate advisor, joining us on the broadcast now. We also have Teresa John, lead economist, Nirmal also with us. Teresa, thank you so much for being with us. Srinath, let me quickly begin with you. Talk to us. Last time Trump came to power, it was called a black swan event by the markets and many others. But talk to us, what color swan is this one?
I think it's a black eye event. I think the other party has literally got a black eye because they thought that they're going to sweep this or it is going to be a close fight. I don't think it was a close fight at all the way it panned out. It's completely gimme red kind of feeling that we used to hear in the ad jingle. Red sweeping it all. And if you heard the victory speech, again, he alluded to the border control, and I don't know how he's going to actually pull that off. What will America do if he's going to push back, and how do you legally and structurally push back all the illegal migrants? That's one. And two, make America great again, that kind of feeling. I think tough one. Lots of things to be done. So will the president focus back, looking inward to fix the house in order? And I think now he has the mandate to get it all done. I mean, the Senate, the House, and the White House, if he gets it all, the Senate is already there. I think clean sweep, popularity votes also in. And I think this time it's also a vindication of his individual popularity. I mean, people might take pot shots at him, you love him or hate him, but the reality is the Americans have voted back, not only with the state votes, but also with the popularity votes. I think that's a message from domestic America saying that, hey, we are looking forward for somebody who might be seen as a big bully, who talks in a blunt talk. But I think this is the country is wanting blunt talk.
Okay. Teresa, let me bring this across to you. There is this huge political event, one of the biggest in the world, has a significant economic impact. There is Wall Street that is waiting to open higher as we speak, buoyed by the optimism of a Trump return. But talk to us in terms of economics, and mainly between India and the US. So far it's been a relationship that's gone from strength to strength. But Trump constantly talks of higher tariffs.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, actually, this US-India relationship remains quite strong, and even under Trump in the previous stint, the India-US relationship was quite strong. It is true that, for example, under his earlier presidency, India's benefits under the general system of preferences for trade was removed. But if you still see India's exports to the US have continued to rise despite all of that. So while he may impose some tariffs, we cannot rule that out completely. And I think, and he said that publicly, so he probably will do that. But I don't think the India-US economic relationship is going to be significantly impacted. So India, around we see 50% of IT exports go to the US. But so the US needs India as much as India needs the US. So if the American companies are going to grow and they're going to see if there are going to be further tax cuts, even for manufacturing, they will. I mean, you are going in a direction where there is increasing automation. Artificial intelligence, Gen AI is picking up everywhere. So there will be investments in those segments, and I think Indian companies also stand to benefit from that. So while there will be higher tariffs, I don't think the entire economic relationship is really going to go for a toss.
Right, Teresa, stay with us. Let me take this back to Srinath. Srinath, talk to us. Trade and tariffs are one issue, but the overall dynamic per se, in terms of increasing exports to the US and reducing imports from the US, so that India stands as the beneficiary, especially at a time when US-China relationship is what it is, and you have company after company, giants after giants in the US wanting to move base or shift a part of their base to India?
See, Krishna, I mean, I think theoretically, yes, they want to shift base to India. Are we ready to take that on with efficiency and productivity efficiency, especially? I think that's a challenge. China, if you look at the manufacturing prowess that they've built over the last 35 odd years, phenomenal efficiency and at large scale. So to assume that the hard stance that US takes on China would benefit from India building mega factories, I think it's probably a little unrealistic. I think we might have some of these JVs that will come up, and I think India has to also deliver and actually pick up more projects as it goes along. That's one. Two, I think the benefit from export-import will be a kind of a give and take and negotiation, because if America, one of the promise that President Trump-elect, what he has done is he's promised jobs and actual manufacturing in the US. So which means that there is an opportunity for component supplies to the US. And depending on the sector where we have prowess, I think that we will be able to benefit for sure. But I don't see that that China, US minus China equal to India as an equation. I'm not very bullish on that yet so far.
Teresa, talk to us in terms of the overall shift that we're possibly looking at with the Trump presidency. What are the challenge areas as far as India is concerned when it comes to its economic relationship with the US?
Yeah, so as far as challenges, I mean, there could be challenges around immigration from India to the US, and I mean, he is going to take a pretty strong stand on that. But while under the earlier presidency as well, you did see the H-1B visa rejection rates go up. I mean, you still have IT professionals going to the US, so there could be probably higher scrutiny. But as I said earlier, I don't think it's going to be a complete standstill on economic relationships. And also, Trump in general is a very pro-business, pro-market president. So I think while he will impose higher tariffs and there could be restrictions on migration as well, I think he will be practical as well in some of the policies that he will introduce. So I don't see it as an extreme negative scenario as far as India goes.
Negative scenario. Srinath, would you concur with that in terms of the...
Yes, Krishna. I mean, I would concur with what Teresa is saying. But the reality is Trump is an astute negotiator. And if I were to look at the history of the US for the last, say, 120 years, early 1900s and onwards, it has phenomenally grown with two aspects. And one is immigration policy. It has always brought people, the best of talent and brains from around the world, captured that ecosystem in the form of green cards, residency, and citizenship, and kept all the intellectual property within itself, and it has minted money and annuities out of that. That's one. Two, they are actually, while we looked at the UK, the erstwhile British Empire, as the colonizers, I think the new colonizer over the last at least 60, 70 years has been the US in the form of big brother attitude, whether it's supplying defense, arms. So the fact is, I think the US is not going to give up that stance of being the big brother. It will want, I think, as any political ecosystem wants problems, or any leaders wants problems, because only when you solve it are you going to be relevant. So I don't think we're going to expect a very smooth equation with the US. I think the US is going to be opportunistic. Simple fact, in the last 4 weeks of conversations with the entire fiasco with Canada, US has not taken India's side at all. So I think some of these are also indicators that US will use very opportunistic way to negotiate whatever we want. And I don't think one of the questions that somebody had proposed the last couple of days has been, will a FTA be possible, India-US FTA? I think if at all even we get into such a negotiation, it's going to be probably a couple of years, at least 5 years plus, which means this particular regime won't be around and somebody else might be the president there.
Okay, Srinath, stay with us. Teresa, stay with us. We're talking business and Trump and business. Let's talk about then Elon Musk, one of the biggest billionaires in the world and strong Trump supporter, emerging victorious along with him. This is what Trump had to say after he won the US presidential election on Elon Musk.
Let me tell you, we have a new star. A star is born, Elon. Now he is. Now he's an amazing guy. We were sitting together tonight. You know, he spent 2 weeks in Philadelphia and different parts of Pennsylvania campaigning. You know, he sent the rocket up 2 weeks ago, and I saw that rocket, and I saw it coming down. I saw it. It was, when it left, it was beautiful, shiny white. When it came down, it didn't look so pretty. It was going 10,000 miles an hour, and it was burning like hell. I said, what happened to your paint job? He said, we've never made a paint that could withstand that kind of heat. And but I saw it come down and turn around. And it was, you know, it's like 22 stories tall, by the way. It looks a little smaller than that, but it's big. And it came down, and you saw that fire burning. And I'm saying, only Elon can do this. It must be an Elon. And I tell the story. I told it last night. I had a man on the phone. I had the screen muted, no sound. I was talking to a very important man, happens to be here. And that very important guy, one of the most important people in, I would say, the country, actually. But, you know, I was president, and now it looks like I was going to be maybe president again, so I figured I could ask him to hold. So I asked him to hold.
You know, Teresa, I have to ask you this, you know, with somebody like Elon Musk going to become an integral part of the administrative affairs of the US because of Trump, it could have interesting economic outcomes in terms of policies.
Yes, I mean, that's true, but I don't think the broader direction of economic policy is going to see a significant change. For example, I mean, the initial round of tariffs were initiated under the Trump presidency, you know, between 2016 to 2020. But there was no major reversal in policy that happened, you know, between 2020 and 2024. So it's true that, I mean, there could be policies that could benefit certain companies, but the broader direction of policy, I don't think there will be any significant change.
Srinath, what could be the significant change with Elon Musk getting together with Donald Trump?
I think twofold. One, are we going to see the tussle between administration and regulators in the US? I mean, Donald Trump has been fighting the US Fed for a couple of months already. He's been talking about that he doesn't kind of agree with what the US Fed thinks about the economy. So are we going to see the administration trying to hammer on or push back the regulatory regime in the US? And two, which has an implication in the overall global systems. I mean, whether it's financial services or technology regulation, and so on and so forth. So that's something that we need to watch out for very cautiously. And I'm going back again some of the instances that what the President Trump in the 45th presidency did. He walked out of the climate accord, the Paris Accord. He's been pushing back on UN, saying that he doesn't believe in it, the multilateralism. So some of these, will they unravel in a way that which will suit certain capitalists? And it's funny, right? I mean, the Western media accuses India of crony capitalism, and we're going to figure out that Western media is the one, Western world is the one that which is actually living off that. That's one. Two, I think, are we going to see Elon Musk more active in India today? I think that's nature. Starlink and the licenses that he's been asking to enter India. Will Tesla finally enter India? Because as part of some deal between the two leaders who already share a great relationship, Prime Minister Modi and I think Donald Trump, are we going to see some of these opening up the market? I think a question mark.
Donald Trump is back as the President of the United States of America, emerging victorious, proving everybody wrong, all those who said that the results could take days to be finally announced. No, Donald Trump had to take, just within the day itself, to claim a comfortable victory, 277 electoral votes in the US when all he needed was 270. Donald Trump having a victory speech that had his supporters in raptures. Bear in mind, this is Donald Trump delivering on Make America Great Again, America First, being Trump's calling card.
Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends on this incredible movement. This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country and maybe beyond. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy? But it's a political victory that our country has never seen before, nothing like this. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president. And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day, I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have. This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again. And in addition to having won the battleground states of North Carolina, I love these places, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, we are now winning in Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, and Alaska, which would result in us carrying at least 315 electoral votes. But it's much easier doing what the networks did or whoever called it, because there was no other path. There was no other path to victory. We also have won the popular vote. That was great. Very proud of that. Nothing will stop me from keeping my word to you, the people. We will make America safe, strong, prosperous, powerful, and free again. And I'm asking every citizen all across our land to join me in this noble and righteous endeavor. That's what it is. It's time to put the divisions of the past 4 years behind us. It's time to unite. And we're going to try. We're going to try. We have to try. And it's going to happen. Success will bring us together. I've seen that. I've seen that. I saw that in the first term when we became more and more successful. People started coming together. Success is going to bring us together, and we are going to start by all putting America first. We have to put our country first for at least a period of time. We have to fix it, because together we can truly make America great again for all Americans. So I want to just tell you what a great honor this is. I want to thank you. I will not let you down. America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer, and stronger than it has ever been before. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We have Srinath, policy researcher and corporate advisor, with us on this broadcast. Srinath, the person who becomes the president of the United States of America is usually called the super boss of the world. When you have a new super boss of the world, a lot can happen, especially across asset classes. There will be impact on the dollar and the rupee. There will be impact on crude oil. The ascent of a new president in the U.S. means something that is across the world, across asset classes.
That's true, Krishna. I mean, for example, I see President Trump has been open or vociferous about climate change. He doesn't believe in that. So which means the fossil fuel is going to continue. So it's a good bet for Indian energy security. That's for sure. Crypto analysts have been cheering because during the campaign, President spoke about crypto, while US Fed is not too sure about crypto, but the president-elect is very, very gung-ho about crypto. So which means what will happen to the crypto industry probably would see a leg up for some time, for sure. The asset classes, if you're looking at, I mean, the European markets are already up the last 2 hours, the European stock markets. So it's like a thumbs up to say that they believe that this is a great outcome for businesses and opportunities. And I think that's very, very clear. But some of the asset classes might see a dip closer home. Let's say if the immigration policies are toughened and tightened, we will see kind of let's say valuation drops in our IT and ITS firms, and similarly could be pharma might have opportunities to export essential products and ingredients back to the US, so they might see a leg up. So each of these kind of sectoral play is going to play out. But in all, I think it was seen that if, let's say, Harris camp had won, it was seen as continuation of Biden administration. Whereas if Donald Trump won, which he has done now, I think it was seen as pro-business. So I think the world is out there celebrating that it's pro-business. The US dollar is expected to tighten further, which means, I mean, today also we saw the rupee getting kind of pounded and more expensive. I mean, the US dollar today is $84, 84 rupees plus. So I think this is something that we're going to let it slide, and this week, give it a week to figure out how this settlement happens. About almost 18% of Indian exports, overall exports, is to the US. So I think there's an opportunity there as a trading partner. But the reality is, what is it that we need to give up or give in? I think that's going to be the real nature of this administration totally. And I think we also heard the Indian foreign minister today speak about of how US, irrespective of who won, is going to become more isolationist of sorts. And I think that is what we will see this administration saying, that they have a mind of their own, they have to look inward, and whatever suits them, their narrative for domestic success, I think we are going to see that play through in the next couple of months.
Right. Teresa John, lead economist, Nirmal is also with us. Teresa, we were just talking about how this could have the new president, a brand new president at the helm of affairs in the US, could have ripple effects across asset classes. Talk to us from your perspective. How do you think the Trump presidency, will impact everything from crude oil prices to the currency markets?
Right. So if you look at, the Trump presidency and their overall narrative, he's largely, as I said earlier, also pro-business. So in general, that means at least US equities should do well. While there are concerns on what it could mean for India, would it mean higher tariffs, lesser immigration, tighter immigration policies, what could impact on IT. But overall, I think if US business does well, US markets do well, I think there will be a rub-off impact on Indian equity markets, even Indian companies that service the US market. So I think equities should do well. In the near term, there will be some flows going into the US back again because of the, people are expecting US markets to rise because of the Trump presidency. That essentially means stronger dollar as well. But if you look at the broader narrative, now Trump is actually in favor of a weaker dollar because that will favor US exports. So in the near term, while the rupee has come under pressure, I think the dollar will also stabilize probably at current levels, maybe a little lower, particularly if interest rates are lower. Trump has also been advocating for lower interest rates, and we are at near historic high levels even after 50 basis point rate cut. So we will see more rate cuts coming through. So while the dollar will find some strength because of the flows that are going to the US, I think gradually there will be a push to make the dollar weaken at least slightly from here, which means that the rupee could stabilize. I don't think we will see significant depreciation pressure in equity markets overall. Globally and particularly in the US, should do well.
Right. And Srinath, if I were to ask you that question, there is that US-China relationship overall, geopolitically and as far as economics as well, and that US is constant, both at a government level and at a company level, finding that China +1, reducing the dependence on China is a common factor. How do you think Trump will move on that front?
Yeah, I think he has to balance. One, he has promised jobs back home. He has promised to bring manufacturing back home. And how realistically possible is it? One, that is a challenge. Two, for the American companies which have brought China as part of their global balance sheet, how can they withdraw back? And if they do, and let's say if they were to look at other markets to sell those products to, what will those markets look like? And I think that's a challenge that they're going to have. So realistically, for Trump to pull back from China and say we will push everything back to the US or ally countries, I think in the short term, probably not much change. In the long term, probably something could happen. And I'm drawing analogy from COVID. During COVID, the US was saying that, hey, we're going to rejig our regional supply chain so that we're not dependent on China. And if you notice, nothing has really happened. And I think that's a kind of a hit and miss that he could end up having. And two, I think one of the other one that Krishna, I want to bring to your notice is, as we speak today, we are going to have the US Fed Reserve start deliberations on their monetary policy. And tomorrow, 2 o'clock their time, we're going to hear them, their view. And are they going to announce a kind of a rate shift? I don't know, because that could be a signaling effect for the new presidency. And the reality is the US has been kind of stressed about the rates as well.
All eyes now on the US Federal Reserve to start with. We'll see how that one goes. But for now, we're completely out of time over here. Srinath, Sridharan, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us. And of course, Teresa John, lead economist in Nirmal, thank you so much for being with us on this broadcast. And with that, it's a wrap here from my side. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishnakumar signing off.
Look what happened. Is this crazy? Fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day I will be fighting for you. And I believe the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country and maybe beyond.